Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a great day. My name's Andy, my channel is Finding Value. If you like investing at all, just give me a thumbs up, click the subscribe button. I'm here to help you out. So today, this is part 4 of a series. I'm going to talk about value versus price. This is very important to understand as an investor. Let's jump into this presentation and talk about value versus price. So value is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. It's the utility it brings to society. And the current price a thing sells for is the current value. And some people talk about intrinsic value. And I'll just touch on it very quickly. Intrinsic value is a measure of what an asset is worth. This measure is arrived at by means of an objective calculation or complex financial model rather than using the currently traded market price of that asset. So they're trying to value what that asset is worth, irrespective of price. And what is price? Price is the amount of money given or set as consideration for the sale of a specified thing. Price is a reflection of current market conditions, and that is extremely important to understand. Price is a reflection of current market conditions. Price can become disconnected from value very easily. Price does not necessarily reflect value because it depends on market conditions and the rotation of money. So I'm going to talk about the repricing of assets, because this is absolutely fundamental to investing. Market conditions change and get repriced. Assets get repriced due to the rotation of money. Demographics and real estate, which is residential real estate, sets the conditions that assets get priced under, because that's where inflation comes from. Let's look at the real estate cycle and see how assets get priced during different cycles in real estate. And before I jump into that, I'm just going to talk one thing about purchasing power. You need to be invested in the undervalued assets that get repriced higher against other assets. That is absolutely key. This increases your purchasing power of that other asset. And that's the whole point of investing, is to purchase more of the other asset. If you're in an asset that can't purchase more of another asset, you are losing purchasing power gain. You can make money, but if you can't buy more of another asset, then you've lost purchasing power. And the whole point of investing is to increase your purchasing power or your wealth. So this is the real estate cycle. And all I want to talk about at a very high level is that there's 4 cycles: a recovery phase, an expansion phase, a hypersupply phase, and a recession phase. And during these phases, there's certain areas that you want to purchase that are favorable during that cycle. In the recovery phase, you want to be in real estate and stocks, because one, it's recovering, so you're at a very low area, so real estate's very good to invest in, and so are stocks. In an expansion phase, real estate, commodities, and tips are good. In a hypersupply phase, you want to enter bonds. And for a recession, bonds and I would say cash are the 2 spots you want to be in, as everything else kind of deflates. This is the new housing starts. And I keep continuing to talk about new housing starts because they're very important to the health of an economy. We are in an expansion phase and rising right now, which is very good for the economy. And we're going into an expansionary phase. I'm going to show you a way to value. This is how we value things, is through ratio. And ratio is just an asset priced against an asset in relationship to time. This is the commodity index in relationship to the S&P 500. And what this means is that when it's increasing, commodities are outperforming the S&P 500, and eventually they hit a peak. These are overvalued for commodities in the red circles. And then they decline over time, and this is a green circle, which indicates an undervaluation of commodities. And right now, we are way down in the no man's land for commodities being cheaper than basically ever. So this is the spot to be. because commodities in relationship to stocks have never been cheaper. And the ratio tells us in relationship to history just how cheap commodities are, and they've never been this cheap. So we want to focus on value as an investor. Investors focus on value, and they invest when the market prices the assets low in relationship to history, just like we saw on the previous chart. When market conditions change to favor the asset you are in, you will increase your purchasing power gains as money rotates out of the favored assets into the undervalued or unfavored assets given certain market conditions. And those market conditions are the reasons why people rotate their money out of favored assets into unfavored assets. It's the market conditions. So what's next? Once you identify value and see market conditions changing, we want to look for asymmetric bets. I'm going to go over what an asymmetric bet is for the next series, the next video. And asymmetric bets is where everything gets absolutely interesting. This is where all the money is made and the excitement is. And this is where the value of an investor is realized. So if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully these videos are helping you guys become better investors and knowing what to look for. Value, market conditions, and once you really nail this section down, value and price, it will change you as an investor. Ask questions in the comment section if this doesn't make any sense, and I can obviously follow this with other videos. Thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.